Hey, good morning, almost afternoon. Checking out 2210 Gantz Road in Grove City. It's in the southwestern Columbus School District. It's kind of in this interesting little pocket down here south of Franklin Climb Road, just off of Gantz. What I like about it, it's actually a two-bedroom ranch home that has a five-unit apartment building on the property. This is kind of the apartment building. It's I think there's two units here. There's one unit, one unit, one unit, one unit, and then the fifth unit is kind of this long section over here. So it's kind of this like old barn looking thing. Um, this gives you an aerial of the barn, plenty of parking, it looks like here. And then this is a single family home that's also a two bed there. In general, oh, this gives you a good idea. This is kind of the layout of that larger unit. So it's front and back. Oh, I'm sorry. It's front and back, not side by side. So front and back, and then the whole length. And then so front and back upstairs as well. It gives you those five units. This is what looks like the main home. It's fairly dated, could certainly use some updates. That's a pretty sweet looking oven in the wall there, if you ask me. But otherwise, I mean, it looks well cared for. It's an old, 1960s or whatever home. Certainly needs updated, needs brought up to par, but looks well cared for at least. Probably needs a new roof, and would certainly rent out pretty easily. This gives you an idea of the huge size of the lot. I would think there'd certainly be more room, if desired, to do some more ground up development or potentially some subdividing and building of single families if you wanted to. This is how many single families fit over here. So I like it kind of for the initial buy, rehab, and rent situation, and maybe pulling some money back out. But then the future potential of doing some new builds there and some ground up development is pretty sweet as well. So this gives you a better idea. Again, the rental units are in need of some work cosmetically, and then we're back to the beginning. So how do the numbers work out? So I didn't dive too much into the different scenarios. There's a lot of ways you could do this if you want to do cash or whatnot. So I just did one of them. So what I did is it's a 700K purchase price. I accounted for 30 grand a unit, which I anticipate spending more in the single family home and less in each apartment, but I thought just 30 grand per unit across the board for cosmetic updates is a good budgetary number and gets us to 180K in a rehab budget. So that puts us at 880 as our total investment. We're doing a 30% LTV loan or 75% LTV loan, and I did a 7% interest rate with a 20-year ARM and a 5-year balloon. So that kind of gets us some kind of debt service into this deal. Potential rental incomes. I used $1,300 for the two-bed house, which is, I think, fairly conservative. And then for the other one-bedroom units, I used $1,000, which again is conservative. I have my numbers are telling me, and I can pull them over, that the one-bedroom units can be as high as $1,200 a month with a pretty good amount of contact confidence. But even at that $1,100 where most of them seem to fall, that would be more than what I've got going on here. So I think this is a conservative um, gross income. And of course, if you're looking for the 1% rule, then we need to get this down to your total all-in budget of 7,560 or 756 grand. That's what I'm looking for. Um, I've roughly got 15% for op expenses in there and then 5% for CapEx and leasing. So we're accounting for a total percent of gross revenues as expenses. Again, that is of course subject to change depending on when we dig into the financials a little bit more, but that gives us something to budget with. I got rents going up 3% a year. So year one, we're only going to net about 11K, but then it increases from there. And what I really liked is that the comps for this single family home put us at around 170 for that home. So theoretically, after if we do a per unit, if we're purchasing this for 700 grand, um, son of a bitch, and we divide that by 6 total bedrooms or seven, it'd be 700 total bedrooms. So, oh, so they're they're essentially asking for 100 grand a bedroom is what they're asking for. So this might be a little too much, to pencil out well, but it's close, and the asset itself looks, worth looking into. If it's 100 grand per bedroom, then they're essentially accounting 200 grand for the front house, and that front house is really only worth 170. So we're really looking at like probably 650 or 670 as being like the most we'd pay for the building without rehab, if not a little less. You'd probably want to be closer. Um, I mean, you'd want to account for maybe 50, 60 grand worth of work in that front house after looking at what needs updated. So this is probably a little high, hence it's been on the market for a while. But certainly worth looking into a little bit more. And even at this higher price, the cap rate's a 9% return. The cash on cash is not fantastic and only about 4%. And ROI is about 7%. So it's close, of course, not a slam dunk. It's still on the market after 100 days, but certainly worth looking into some more. So that is kind of my deal of the day I got an eye on. If you're interested in it or want to learn more about this or anything else, please let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.